is Rosalind Parker, and I'm Chief Experiences Officer with Travel to Do Good. We are powered by the Affinity Travel Group, a travel change agency and lifestyle company based in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and Houston, Texas. Our team creates amazing travel experiences that we believe changes the lives of our travelers and the destinations they visit for the good. Today, we are excited to launch our first ever virtual field trip under our new Travel to Do Good visa program. Visa, by the way, stands for Virtual Interactive Study Abroad Program. We're using today's technologies to connect participants to a destination's history, culture, and people virtually. I always say that the most important part of any destination experience is the people that you meet along the way. And even in the virtual environment, that remains the same. This virtual field trip provides an opportunity for students from Fort Mill Middle School in Fort Mill, South Carolina, to travel virtually to Accra, Ghana, where they will meet students from the Alpha Beta Educational Center. Ghana's past and present connection to American history makes it the perfect destination to kick off our visa program, while also recognizing Black History Month, because Black history is American history. During the virtual field trip, our student ambassadors have the unique opportunity to connect, learn, and grow through conversations with their peers in another country. No matter who you are or where you're from, the one thing that travel has taught me is that when you open up your mind and your heart, you too will learn that we are more the same than we are different. It is our vision here at Travel to Do Good that these conversations will start to break down the barriers, walls, and fears that often separate us. So to the staff, educators, student ambassadors, and the entire student body of Alpha Beta Educational Center in Accra, Ghana, and Fort Mill Middle School in Fort Mill, South Carolina, it's time to go. It's time to travel to do good. Thank you and have a great trip.
Hello, and welcome to Fort Mill Middle School in Fort Mill, South Carolina. My name is Tori Robinson, and I am the Spanish teacher here. We are the home of the Fighting Yellow Jackets. As a teacher, my purpose is to inspire, serve, and lead the younger generations to be the best that they can be. My goal is to also create opportunities for my students to grow and succeed. Each year, Fort Mill Middle School proudly celebrates Black History Month. The purpose of Black History Month is to celebrate and honor the achievements of African Americans. As a student body, we learn from their successes and their challenges. Even though we are living in such an unusual time, I still wanted to provide my students with an opportunity to learn and to grow. I just knew that it had to be different. After collaborating with my wonderful teammates Alitra Geddes and Katie McFadden, both of the Fort Mill School District, we connected with Rosalind Parker of Travel to Do Good. And from there, this virtual field trip to Ghana was created, where Fort Mill Middle School connects with Alpha Beta Education Center. Both schools, Fort Mill Middle School and Alpha Beta, selected student ambassadors to lead us on this virtual field trip. The purpose of this virtual field trip to Ghana is to allow our students the opportunity to connect with those that are abroad. There, the students would be able to move beyond any preconceived notions and gain valuable insight into the culture, hopes, dreams, and challenges of their Ghanaian friends. We want our students to see that despite any differences, there are numerous similarities. Ghana plays a huge part in America's history. It's important that we make those connections. Most importantly, even though we are living in unusual times, and even though we are facing challenges such as COVID-19, I want our students to know that there are still opportunities to grow, learn, and to feel empowered. We hope that you enjoy our virtual field trip to Ghana, and remember, Black history is American history.
Akwaba, welcome to all our guests from Fort Mill Middle School. As your host country, we are super excited to welcome you on this virtual tour of Ghana, especially during these times when our movement is restricted. We are grateful to Rosalind Parker from Travel to Do Good for this wonderful and innovative initiative. My name is Dr. Naomi Ajipong, and I am the Director of Operations at Alpha Beta Education Centers here in Accra, Ghana. Alpha Beta is a private school that was established about 32 years ago by my parents. We have had thousands of students go through our doors since then, and we're extremely proud of all the achievements of our students and our alumni. At Alpha Beta, we are deeply passionate about raising creative, confident, and competent young leaders who will solve some of Africa's biggest challenges. The ambassadors you will meet today are students of the Itinkrahene Leadership Program, a leadership track that we run at Alpha Beta School. Our school is based in Accra, which is Ghana's coastal capital city where most of our economic activities take place. Accra is a great city to live and has a population of about 2.5 million people. I live on a hill in Accra, and I have lovely views of the city on one side of the hill, and on the other side I can see the sea, which is extremely calming. As a school that runs an entrepreneurial leadership program, global awareness and intercultural fluency are key competencies that we expect our students to learn. We are hopeful that this virtual tour will not only serve to give ambassadors of Fort Mill a deeper understanding of the Ghanaian culture and people, but will also allow our ambassadors to deepen their knowledge and understanding of the culture and people of the United States. We hope that they will also get to appreciate that young people from around the world are really not that different after all. So once again, I welcome you all. I hope that you will enjoy this virtual trip and that you will be inspired to take a trip to Ghana at some point in your lifetime. Enjoy!
Good afternoon. My name is Baba Inshoa Intonensa, and I'm here today to present to you on the unique culture of my country, Ghana. In this presentation, you will learn about the geography, food, festivals, traditional ceremonies, and some major tourist sites in the country, Ghana. Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, our first president, once said that the forces that unite us are intrinsic and greater than the superimposed influences that keep us apart. And this is something that unites us as Ghanaians. Now, Ghana is a West African country with a population of about 30.42 million people, a diverse people who speak about 46 different local languages. There are 16 regions, with Greater Accra as its capital, headed by a president, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Now, there are many different local foods which Ghanaians love to take at all times of the day, most of them being starch-based and containing some kind of meat. Favorites of these are waakye, which is a black beans and rice, usually eaten with spaghetti, fish, coleslaw, gari, gravy, and a black pepper sauce, which is shown on the bottom right. And also jollof, which is simply rice cooked in tomato sauce, also eaten with the black pepper sauce and any protein of your choice, which is shown in the top middle. Ghanaian foods have become very popular nowadays, and you might have heard of some of the ones seen here before. Have you heard of any of them? If so, which ones? Now let's come to festivals. Festivals make up an important part of the traditional background of Ghanaians, with each ethnic group having festivals they celebrate to signify important stepping stones in their history. For example, Homowo, which is celebrated by the Gans, signifies the end of their famine many years ago, and Odriwa, which is celebrated by the Equiapims, signifies their victory over the Ashanti tribe many years ago. Naming ceremonies. Naming ceremonies are a very important part of Ghanaian culture. Naming ceremonies are when a young child, usually about a week old, is brought in front of their community to be named, baptized, and introduced to everyone. Naming ceremonies are usually strict dress code of all white, and the baby is introduced and welcomed by all members, families, friends in the community. Here are some more pictures of naming ceremonies. We have a lovely couple and their baby, and to the right we have probably a mother and her sister holding the newborn child. Have you ever attended anything like that? A naming ceremony or maybe a christening? If so, how was it? Now let's come to the traditional wedding. Traditional weddings are a local ceremony that join a bride and groom who would come dressed in traditional attire along with close friends and family. There are many aspects to the wedding, such as the knocking, where the groom will once again ask for the hand of the bride, and the bride prices, which are the gifts the groom's family will present to the bride's family. We have a picture of the bride and groom over there. The woman is holding a nice African fan, and as you can see, they're very happy dressed in their traditional wear. Traditional funerals usually only happen on the weekend and are attended by hundreds of guests dressed in black and red if the deceased was young, or black and white if the deceased was above 70 years old. There is a lot of eating, dancing, and singing to celebrate the legacy of the life lost, and the body is usually carried in by pallbearers who perform choreographies as they bring them in. One such case of this going viral, as we all saw the dancing pallbearers meme, which originated actually from here in Ghana, where we saw a group of pallbearers dressed in suits and ties, dancing whilst carrying a body. So here we have some more pictures at the very top of a traditional wedding. We have the bride and groom dressed in nice kente at the very top, and to the top right we have the groom's family presenting the bride price to the bride's family, and to the bottom left we have dancing pallbearers dressed in their black suits and their red ties, and to the bottom left we have the woman holding coconuts that they're going to present at the funeral. Now here are some major tourist sites in Ghana. We have the Cape Coast Castle in the central region, which was a former slave settlement of the British when they were in Ghana as colonists. And this is where slaves were kept before they would be sold to the Americas. And we have the Kakum National Park also in the central region, which is a 7-bridge canopy walkway that goes over the Kakum National Rainforest. And of course, we have the Art Center right here in Accra, where they sell traditional artifacts and clothing and also display them so that everybody can have a taste of Ghanaian culture. Did you know that cocoa, which is used to make chocolate, is grown in Ghana? Ghana is the world's second largest producer of cocoa and supplies to famous companies such as Cadbury's chocolate. This month has a National Chocolate Day, where people give out chocolate to their loved ones to show just how much they mean to each other. Did you receive any chocolate this month? Thank you for listening to me, and I hope it was informative, and I hope that you learned a bit about our culture here in Ghana.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Tori Robinson, and I'm the Spanish teacher here at Fort Mill Middle School in Fort Mill, South Carolina. I'm originally from Hilton Head, South Carolina, which is about 4 hours from here. It's near the beach in the low country part of the state. And I would describe myself as talkative Tori because I love to talk and I love to meet new people. And a part of my staff with me, I have Alitra Geddes as well as Katie McFadden, and those are the educators that are joining me here at Fort Mill Middle School. Alitra Geddes, take it away.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Alitra Geddes, and I am from Charleston, South Carolina. That is also about 3.5 hours away from here. My adjective to describe myself, I think, is amazing, Alitra. And just a little background, I used to be very shy. Actually, I am still very shy, but you know, they say fake it till you make it. So I am using that to help me be more confident and help me speak up with my neighbors over there in Ghana. So I just wanted to say good morning to everyone. And I am so happy that you have allowed me to join this call this morning.
Good morning. My name is Katie McFadden. I am the Career Development Facilitator for the Fort Mill School District. I was born in Pennsylvania, but I don't really remember it. I count South Carolina as home. And my adjective is kind Katie, because I try to be kind to people and I appreciate it when people are kind to me. Oh, I'm sorry. And we want to introduce our students. Like Ms. Parker said, we're going to go in order. So Amon, Bray, Diamond, Jada, Jaden, Mia. So Amon, you can get started introducing yourself.
Okay, thank you. My name is Aman. I was born in London, but my ethnicity is Indian. So I'm mainly Indian, and I have lived in this country for most of my life. And one word that would describe me would be adventurous Aman, because I love to travel and explore new things, and so I love to go out and learn things about all different religions and all. So that's why I picked adventurous.
Hi, my name is Brave. I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina, like 20 minutes away from here. Lived here my whole life. I'm 13, turning 14 in late August. So I'm like the youngest in the grade. And if I had to describe myself using one word, it would be believing gray. I've never thought like failure, like giving up is an option. I've always like thought there's like a way to do it.
Hi, my name is Diamond. I'm going to Diamond as of my word to describe me. I was born in South Carolina from a small town named Utahville, and I recently just moved to Fort Mill not too long ago. So it's very new to me, and everything's kind of different in the city than from where I'm.
Hi, my name is Jada. The adjective I would use to describe me is jovial because I'm very friendly and I like to make friends with everybody. And I am originally from Rock Hill, South Carolina, which is about 10 minutes away, maybe. But I lived in Myrtle Beach, which is like maybe 3 hours for like 3 years. And then I moved back to Rock Hill and then I moved to Fort Mill last year to come here. So, yeah.
Hi, I'm Ye Clyburn, and my adjective to describe me probably would be magical Mia. I do a lot of things combined with school. I play volleyball, I act, I do modeling as well, and I consider that kind of maybe triple threat, I guess. I just feel like doing a lot of things combined with school is just, kind of magical. So, I was born in Fort Mill, South Carolina. Oh no, excuse me, Charlotte, North Carolina, and I've lived in South Carolina my whole life. Yeah, I'm 14 years old, turning 15 in December.
Thank you very much.
My name is Jaden Jarvis. I'm originally from somewhere in New Jersey. I don't really remember that one. And one adjective to describe me would be joyful Jaden because I usually try to stay happy all the time.
Dr. Ajipong.
So welcome to everybody. Welcome to Accra. Since you're visiting us today, we're very excited to host you. Alpha Beta School is a private school in Accra. It's been around for about 32 years. We have, a lot of students have come through our doors, and today we have 5 or 6 of our students representing us. We have 3 faculty members in addition to myself. So we have Jackie, you can wave. So Jackie and Samantha are both guidance counselors at Alpha Beta, and we have Esinam, who will also introduce herself, and she is the coordinator of our entrepreneurial leadership department. So we're all excited to be here. Our students that are representing us today are Baba and David. We have 2 Davids. So we have David Addison and David Golden. And we also have Map 90 and Silver Floyd. So we're excited to be here. We hope that by the end of this session, you'll know so much about Ghana and you'll be so excited that you want to visit Ghana when it's safe to do so again. So welcome once again to you all. Oh, I was supposed to say something about myself, right? So I'm Naomi Achipong. I'm a medical doctor by profession, but I haven't worked in medicine for a very long time. I was born in the UK. I lived in the UK for some time, but I've been back in Ghana for 10 years working in education. The name, the adjective, and unfortunately it doesn't have a whole lot of adjectives good adjectives to describe people, but nice name would be the one that I choose. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
My name is Esinam Frimpong Ansa, and I'm a staff in Alpha Beta School. I'm the coordinator for our Edinkrahini Leadership Program, and I also work with the administrative aspect of the department. I come from the Volta region in Ghana, which is a coastal city, and that makes me an Ewe. So, and the adjective that I use to describe myself is energetic Esinam, because I'm a very active and lively person, and I enjoy to be with everyone. And I'm very excited to meet everyone here. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jackie Oyime, and I am the guidance counselor here at Alpha Beta in Accra, Ghana. I come from the Ashanti region, and I am an Ashanti by tribe or ethnic. But I also have a bit of a Ga blood in me because a part of my mom is Ga. But both Ashanti and Ga parts of me are all from the southern parts of the country. So Ashanti is from the Ashanti region, and then Ga is from the greater Accra region. My name doesn't sound Ashanti because I have my surname is my husband's name, and he is from Krobo, Odumase. So he's Krobo, and he's from the eastern region part of the country. I would use the word jovial. I'm very jovial. As you can see, even though I am growing in age, I'm very young at heart, and I'm always cheerful, always friendly, and always excited to meet people, especially young people. And so you can just tell from my voice that I'm very excited to be here hosting you all the way from the United States. I'm looking forward to having more fun this afternoon. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. It's afternoon here in Accra, Ghana. I'm Samantha Barrett Aqua. I'm also a guidance counselor at Alpha Beta Education Centres. I was born and raised in the UK to parents from the Caribbean. So my father is Jamaican and my mum was from a very small Caribbean island called Montserrat. And I've lived in Ghana for 13 years now. So I think I've now adopted the Ghanaian citizenship. So I would describe myself as sensitive Samantha. As a guidance counselor, you know, we have to be sensitive to the needs of all our students. And I would say that, yes, I'm a sensitive person. I'm very happy to be part of this virtual field trip today. So thank you.
Okay, did we get all of the stuff? Okay, great. So now we can move to the students. Starting first with Baba.
Hi, my name is Baba. I'm Fancy and Ga. My mother is Ga and my father is Fancy. So that's my ethnic origin. I was born here in Accra and I've lived in Accra my whole life. The adjective I would use to describe myself is brave Baba, because a lot of things scare me, but then I'm always willing to try new things.
I love it. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is David Addison. I'm like Baba, I'm Ga and Fanti. I'm from the Greater Accra region and I've lived here my whole life. And if I was supposed to use an adjective to describe myself, I think I'd use dynamic David, because I like taking action and I don't like to be idle. And when there has to be a group or something, I'm always participating, I'm always there, I'm always active. So, yeah.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm David Golden. I was born to Nigerian parents, but I was born and raised in Ghana. So I've lived here my whole life. If I were to use an adjective to describe myself, I'd like to call myself anyway, diligent. think other people would attest to the fact that in everything I do, I try to be on top of everything. I try my best to get things done the right way, and I do not slouch. So I don't tolerate it either. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Mabuna Inti, and I'm 13 years old. So my ethnic origin, I come from two places. So I did a small illustration. I don't know if you can see it. It's probably 10 backwards, but so I was born in Volta region, and that's where my mom is from. So she's from Georgia, which is like in the region, and that's where I was born. But my dad is from Eastern region in like a village called like Asamankese. But he did live in like Volta region for most of his like life. So then my parents met in the Volta region and I was born there. But they took me to Greater Accra and I've lived here for most of my life. So that's my ethnic origin. I'm Ewe and also Eastern. So the name, like my name is mostly Eastern Mab 90. They are mostly Akan, but I think Adam is of Ewe origin.
Thank you.
And an adjective that describes me would be Mary Mabina because I try to make people happy around me.
Thank you. Philbert is next.
Hello, I'm Philbert Dolan and I'm 13 years old. So I was actually born in Virginia, USA, but I live in Ghana because my parents are from Ghana and they work here. So I've lived in Ghana almost my whole life. And I'm from the Greater Accra region of Ghana, so meaning I'm Ghana. My father is from Koligono and my mom is from Jamestown. Yeah. And the adjective I'll use to describe myself is phenomenal. I'm phenomenal Philbert because I believe that in everything I do, I'm exceptionally good. Thank you.
Thank you. I have to use my party hat on that one. So thank you everyone for the introductions. It really does help us to connect and to remember who you are and what you stand for, your character. Really, really nice. Love the intros. Love it. Yeah, totally. So we're going to go ahead and move into the Q&A. And I just want to remind everyone to stay muted. If you're not speaking, we're going to use the chat feature and the emojis. Everyone knows how to do that. Again, we're going to take turns asking and answering questions. Some questions will be directed to just one person, and while others may require responses from the entire group. So when responses need to come from the entire group, remember we're going to go in alphabetical sequence. When the entire group is asked to respond, we ask that everyone go in alphabetical sequence and that you stay muted until it is your time to speak. So any questions about the Q&A portion? This is the fun part. This is where we're going to have the most fun. Okay, no questions? We're all good? Thumbs up? Okay, we're all good. All right, great. Okay, so Aman, why don't you start us off?
Okay, so describe a typical school day. Do you have a lot of homework for David G?
Okay, so this varies for everybody, but in my case, I start my day at 4:30 for the week. For the weeks, weekends I sleep in, but for the weekdays I start my day at 4:30. This doesn't apply to everybody because some people live closer to the school than I do. But personally, before the global pandemic, I used to wake up at 4:30 every day. Then I get ready for school, then we get in the car, then we'd go to school. Then at school, I'd have my lessons, then we'd go for break. And then break is where we get the opportunity to stretch our legs and eat. So we have something to eat, yeah. And then it continues like that until we have our lessons and then we close. And then when we close, I spend my time usually on my laptop doing digital marketing classes on Udemy. I don't know if you guys have heard of Udemy, but it's an online course app. So yeah, I do courses there, digital marketing. I also got into some coding. And I also do a little Spanish, and then yeah, I wrap my day up and then I watch Netflix for the rest of the day just to relax. Yeah. So how about you, Aman? What's the average amount? Oh, and sorry, as for our homework, it depends on which particular lesson we are having or which particular teacher is coming at that point in time. So for subjects like science, English language, English literature, we get a lot of homework because those teachers feel as if they feel the need to give us more homework so that we like remember what we've been taught properly. But for other subjects like geography, history, our work is usually more of project work. Project work. So we have more project work than homework when it comes to things like geography. Yeah, so that's about it. It really depends on the lesson and probably the mood of the teacher. Yeah. And then, so for you, Aman, I have this question. What's the average amount of homework you get in a day? And what are the advantages and disadvantages of virtual classes for you?
Yeah, for me, it kind of depends on the class because one class, if I have a quiz or a test, generally I won't have homework that day. So a typical day for homework for me would be like maybe 3 to 6 or 3 to 7 assignments on Google Classroom. So I get like maybe one assignment from every class or maybe 1 to 2 on some classes or maybe 0 if I have a quiz on other classes. So it generally depends on the situation. Um, for the advantages for virtual school, I'm able to do the work like when I want. I can fix it into my schedule and make it work according to me, according to my times. So that's one of the great advantages of virtual school. And one of the disadvantages was at first when I started it, it was a bit difficult to start like adapting to the whole system of virtual school. So that's it for me.
Um, so for the amount of homework I usually get in one day, it can vary every day. So usually I just get sent home with like one assignment for each class. But like right now, I just had a project in social studies and I finished that. So I don't have any more homework or at home work um for like the rest of the week for that class. But like English language arts, I could get up to 3 assignments and I could get hammered with homework in that class. And some of the advantages and disadvantages of virtual classes for me is an advantage is like if you don't know something, you can always like use like a kid friendly website to help you out like on the internet or like a computer. And a disadvantage is like you don't have the knowledge of a teacher helping you like who's like been studying that subject for a long time.
So I want to explain to our friends in Ghana, in Fort Mill, we have 2 different kinds of school going on. Students could have picked virtual academy, which means they don't come to school at all. Their classes are 100% virtual from home. And that's what Aman does. And the students who are coming to school in person have a hybrid schedule. So they come to school one day and then they work from home one day, just alternating. So 2 different kinds of setups for how we're going to school here in Fort Mill.
One of the question I have is, what do you all like to do in your free time? What are some of your favorite sports to play and watch? Can everyone answer, please?
We'll start with Baba. and Alpha Beta?
Please go ahead and answer in alphabetical order.
I'm sorry.
They'll answer in alphabetical order.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So what I usually do in my free time is to draw, because that's what I'm good at and what I like to do. And my favorite sport is football, because that's the most common sport in Ghana. But I don't really like watching it because I see the football on television as boring.
I'm very similar to David in the sense that I don't like watching football and I don't really like sports in general. But for my free time, what I do like doing is reading. And I also write poems under pseudonyms because sometimes I don't want my emotions to be known to everybody. Sometimes I like put fake names on the poems I write and then I show them to people so that they might think it's someone else, but it's me. Yeah, I really enjoy that. So it helps me express myself and also a lot of Netflix because why not? Yeah.
In my free time, I read books and comics. I'm really getting into Marvel. Like I'm like reading a lot of comics nowadays. And some of the things I like to do, I also like to write plays and like short stories. I'm really into like theater and things like that. And my favorite sport is football because like football is really like in our culture like as Ghanaians, and I really like to watch it, especially because it's like a family bonding thing, and I watch it with my parents and stuff like that.
Okay, so during my free time, I love to read a novel or journal my thoughts on incidents that happened during the day. And I also love to draw. Then for my favorite sports, I love to swim and play soccer. I quite remember receiving a blue ribbon certificate from the Ghana Swimming Association after taking a swimming test a few years ago. And for the soccer, I really love to play it. And I usually play in the defense. So you probably have a tough time scoring against me. Then on weekends, I enjoy watching Premier League and La Liga football on TV. And I play games like FIFA and NBA on my PlayStation.
In my free time, I love to read books, especially books written in the 20th century. I really like their writing style, the way they express themselves, and I prefer books written then to books written in this century. And my favorite sports, like what most people said, is football because football is what most people play in Ghana. It's one of the most popular sports here. And it's just so easy to find a good game to watch. And my favorite team is the English team, Liverpool. And whenever I can, I just put on the TV and watch a football game. Yeah, so I have a question. So, what is the best book you've ever read?
I believe I was supposed to answer that question. And one of the best books that I ever read, well, not probably the best, but one of the ones I recommend is definitely the one that we read in 7th grade at our school. The book is called The Ethan I Was Before. And it was very good. It has some twists and turns, and like I would recommend it to anybody who likes dramatic things and just like it kind of like teases you as you go to make you read even more.
So I'm going to stop right here for a moment. The question and answers are going really well. And the questions are coming into chat, which is cool, and comments. So what I would like for you to do, because you guys are mentioning some really cool things, the books that you're reading, your favorite book, and some people are putting it into the chat now, please, things like that, put it in the chat because I'll copy the chat and share it with everyone. So Aman put in one of his favorite books. You all can see the chat. So yeah, so let's just keep that going. Also too, Diamond, you're breaking up a little bit. So you may need to speak a little bit louder, a little bit, just project a little bit more. It's probably more the internet connection, but that might help. And I just want to remind everyone to keep themselves muted because when people are dropping off and dropping back on, they're unmuted. So just remember to stay muted. Okay, so we'll continue. Diamond, I think you have the next question, right?
My question for everyone, can you hear me now? Do I sound better? Okay, yes, my question for everyone is what would you like to be when you grow up?
When I grow up, I would love to be a businesswoman because both my parents are business people and I've grown up around a lot of business people. So I think I have what it takes to make it in the business world. And I'm pretty sure that that's what I'm going to do when I grow up.
When I grow up, I think I want to be a repairman who repairs gadgets like phones, laptops, and stuff. Because I get happy when I see that something I repaired is working, and I get happy seeing who are able to use the gadgets I repaired.
So when I grow up, at the moment, I'm very interested in science and digital marketing. For some reason, I'm interested in digital marketing. So if there's a way I can become the kind of entrepreneur to mix the two and create something for myself, because businesses are always changing, things are always changing. There are new businesses popping up every single time. So if there's a way I can incorporate both of them, I'd very much like to do it. So yeah.
So what I want to be in future, I have a lot of interests. So I think two of the things that are like top 10 in like top two like in my career list is like becoming a lawyer and also like starting a film company. I don't know if I want to be a director, but I just want to start a film company.
When I grow up, I would love to be a medical practitioner because I'm very passionate about helping others.
Okay, Philbert, thank you. Are you finished? You said you wanted to be a medical practitioner?
Yes, please.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so we'll just keep the questions going. Philbert, it's your turn. Ask the next question.
Okay. So, can you please share what you want to be when you grow up? And can I have everyone answer that?
Yeah, so I'm into like I'm majorly into the science field. And I have like three main career related options I'm looking for. I really like animals and all, so I think one of my main picks would be becoming a veterinarian, because the thought of helping like saving so many animals is really good for me. I would like to become maybe an environmental scientist because there are many global issues right now, and if I know that I took part in being a really huge impact for solving one of those global issues, it would mean a lot to me. And the last one would maybe be a business owner or entrepreneur, because the good thing about business owners is because you can you have the option to choose like whatever you want to earn your business about. So since I also another thing I really like is cars, so maybe I want to own a business that has a relationship to cars. So those are my main three picks.
One day I think it would be really cool if I could say to my kids I could be like a pro football player. It's a long shot and it'd be really hard, but for my whole entire life I've just eat, breathe, sleep football, and I haven't done anything else besides grind that sport.
For me, I have like a passion of being in the medical field. When I was younger, I wanted to be a doctor, but as I got older, I wanted to be a brain surgeon. And then that changed when I started watching my favorite show, Grey's Anatomy. And now I want to be a general surgeon so I can work on a little bit of everything. And so that's just my passion. I don't really see me doing anything else. I'm kind of familiar with everything that takes place in the hospital. And so, yeah, that's just what.
I'm kind of like Diamond. I watch Grey's Anatomy too, so I have a passion of being either a pediatric surgeon or a pediatric anesthesiologist. And if that doesn't go well, then I really love sports. I mainly like American football, and I also play volleyball. So I'd also want to be like an athletic trainer that helps like people, like when they get hurt, like they break an ankle, I'd love to help them out and then feel.
I'm a little bit like Amon a bit. I really love animals. My parent loved animals when he was growing up, and I honestly shared the love too. So I want to grow up to be kind of in the animal field. I'm thinking a bit like a paleontologist a bit because I love studying ancient life. I read books about it all the time, and somewhere between a veterinarian because I always love to work with animals.
So as I mentioned before, I do work in the entertainment field. I am an actress and a model, and I would love to take that career farther and become a professional, I guess you would say. But if that does not work out, I do want to go to college and study anesthesiology and other things in the medical field. And during that time, I would love to play volleyball in college. I would love to take volleyball as far as I can until I have to stop it. It's practically my life at this point, and so I take it very seriously, and it's one of my passions that I've been having for my whole entire life, and I just want to keep that as long as I can because there's not really a professional volleyball team unless we would like to go to the Olympics, which I don't know if I'm going to do that. But I want to take that as far as I can. I might coach a little bit because I do like doing that. Thank you.
Okay, so looks like Jada is next to ask the next question.
The question that I have is, what is the most common education students receive after high school? And when students go to college, do they attend school nearby or do they live at home or travel away?
Usually after high school, the most common education they take afterwards is university. And usually students will go to a university close to their house, maybe between walking or short driving distance from their house so that they can go home on the weekends and during all the breaks.
So my question is, are you thinking about college yet? And if so, are you prepared for it? And how are you preparing for it? Sorry.
I am preparing for college. I've been looking at a lot of medical schools to help me prepare to be a ped surgeon. And I would honestly probably want to go to Alabama because I also like their football team. So that's how I'm preparing for it.
Is there anybody who's preparing for college in a different way or something other than college after high school? Pretty much all university, thumbs up.
Yeah, so I've been preparing for college. So how I'm preparing is that my parents actually own a business named Chess Club, and they work with other students. So some of the some of the other tasks they do is like they make send out cards for special events, and sometimes I participate in that and help them, and I can earn money that way. And I also participate in chess tournaments, representing my family's business. And if I do really well on it, sometimes they give me some money to prepare for my college fees and all that. So that's the way I prepare for college.
So how I'm preparing for college, I've been looking at a lot of schools. I've signed up with the NCAA Foundation to help colleges basically look at me and my playing so I can try and get a scholarship to different schools. I'm hoping to go to UCLA. Even if I don't get a scholarship, I would love to go to UCLA in California because that's mostly where most of the entertainment industry gets a lot of their audition people from. And that's I have more of an opportunity to get on a big time TV show or something like that. So I really think that will jumpstart my career and get my name out there.
Awesome, thank you. Jada, do you have an answer? And you have the next question, so perfect.
Yeah. So my mom, she's a real estate agent, just like Miss Robinson. She does it part-time with my mom. So my mom really wants me to get my real estate license when I'm 18 and also help her. So that's a good way of doing it. And I also play volleyball like Mia. So I do club volleyball at Carolina Union Volleyball Club. So if you go to tournaments, sometimes there's scouts there that will help you prepare. And then sometimes you can get lessons to help you get a scholarship. And then the next question I have is, who lives with you in your house or who makes up your family? Are they necessarily the same? And then can everybody answer?
Okay, so I live with my mom and my dad. I'm an only child, so I don't have any siblings and I don't have any like house help. So it's just the three of us in the house.
So my family consists of my father, myself, my mother, my two siblings, a boy and a girl.
So I'm an only child, but I do consider my helps to be siblings to me anyway. So I have both my parents, my mother and my father, and then two sisters.
Yeah, so I live with my mother, but my father, he doesn't live with us right now because he's currently in Togo because he works at a bank which is like in Togo, so he doesn't really live here, but he comes back like every two or so weeks to stay with us, or we go there. And so right now I just live with my mother and my other two younger brothers, and I'm the eldest sister.
My family is quite small. I'm the only child, and I live with my mom and dad. So we are three in the family.
Okay, so I have a question. Okay, so who makes up your nuclear family, and can everyone answer?
Yeah, so I live with my mom, my dad, and my older brother in my house, and For me, it's actually much different than people who live in my house and people who make up my family, because a lot of my family is living in India, and I have an uncle and an aunt that live in Australia. So when it comes to my whole family, there's like over 300 members, and almost all of them are in India. So that's why for me it's definitely not the same.
I live with my mom, my dad, and my sister. And if you want to count my dog, you can as well. Uh, me and my sister are twins, born a minute apart, and she can get on my nerves, but we can also have a lot of fun together.
For me, I am not the only child, but I am the youngest sibling, so that just leaves me in the house with my two parents, which is my mom and my stepdad. We also have custody of my little niece, so she lives here too. So it's really just four of us in this house.
I live with my mom and it's just us two. And then sometimes I might go and stay with my grandparents who live 10 minutes away. And then if I go stay at my dad's house, sometimes I stay over there for like a week or a weekend. It's me, my stepmom, my dad, and my sister, and you can count my dog too.
I live with my dad and myself, so it's just me and him. And sometimes I go visit my mom, and I have my two brothers that live with her, and my dad has one. I have one brother that lives up in New Jersey too.
So I am an only child, but I do have a sister. She is a dog. Her name is Poppy. She's a Chiweenie. She's like a Chihuahua and a Dachshund mix. And she's very loud and tiny, and she gets on my nerves. I can say that because she's sleeping. She can hear me. But yeah, it's just the three of us. I live with my mom, me and my dad, and yeah, it's the four of us, if you want to count my dog.
Okay, so in Ghana, we greet our elders by saluting with our right hand, and using the left hand is considered highly disrespectful. So, what unique way do you greet the elders in your country?
So, personally, I don't know if anybody else. I don't really have a special way of greeting my elders. But usually we answer with Miss or Mrs. or usually we don't use first names with teachers. Usually we don't use our first names with our parents. At least I don't. I don't know about other people, but um, my parents consider it disrespectful if I use their first name to them. But usually I'll just call them mom, dad, mother, father, you know what I mean? And for teachers, we usually use their last names and we use Miss, Mrs. in front of it. So in Miss Robinson's case, I would call her Miss Robinson or Miss Bettis. So that's what we answer.
So Mia, you have the next question. You're on. Okay.
What are you guys' favorite apps? And what is your favorite TV show and or movie? Can everyone answer this question, please?
Okay, my favorite apps have to be WhatsApp because that's where I talk to everybody. And then I think the entertainment apps like Wattpad and Webtoon and YouTube where I can just watch things and read things. And I don't think I have a favorite TV show because I like different genres of things. So I can't really pick one above the rest of them. Yeah.
So my favorite apps are Call of Duty Mobile, YouTube, WhatsApp, and yeah. My favorite movie is Avengers Endgame.
Okay, so my favorite apps have to probably be Netflix, probably TikTok, just recently TikTok, and then YouTube. And then as per um, TV shows, I watch a lot of them, so I can't really keep track. They just keep coming. So, but one that really stood out to me was Umbrella Academy. I really did like Umbrella Academy.
I think with apps, as far as social media, I think my favorite app would be TikTok, and entertainment it would be Netflix. And I think when I want to read, sometimes I use this um, books, but I use like my Kindle app, and I think it's one of the most used apps on my phone. And my favorite TV show now is WandaVision. It's also in Marvel. I told you I'm a really huge Marvel fan, so it's my favorite TV show now.
Um, my favorite apps are YouTube, Telegram, and WhatsApp. And my favorite TV shows, Family Feud. So Family Feud is a reality TV show where two families compete to give answers to several questions in order to win money. And it's very fun for me to watch. And I also love to watch WWE. And I like it because of the action and drama. And I also love Avengers. I like movies like Black Panther and Avengers Endgame.
Do you guys, Fort Mill students too, give a thumbs up? Do you think that watching TV is a main part of your free time? Do you spend a lot of time watching TV? Yes. Me too. Brace says no. Brace playing sports all the time, eating and breathing. And I have a question. You guys can weigh in the chat because you are all Marvel fans. I said in the chat earlier, I just started watching all the Marvel movies, so I'm only 2 in. Do you think I should watch them in chronological order or order of release?
Okay, so how different do you think life is in the Western world from life here in Ghana?
Okay, so that question was directed to me. At first, when I first started, I thought it would be kind of like, because I've been to India many times, like more of the rural or maybe suburban parts of India. I thought that would be the case in Ghana as well. But now that I got to explore like the major cities and all of that, like Accra, um, I now think it's more like urban, kind of like some urban cities in India. They're like super popular and like lots of buildings everywhere. So I kind of think like that's the case with you guys. So that's the case there in Ghana, I think. Okay. How different do you think life is in Ghana than life in the US for Baba?
I think that in the US, like, I'm not subscribed, but here in Ghana, if something happens today, by the end of the day, everyone in the country knows about it. But then I realized that in the US, it takes a while for you guys to find out things about things happening in other states because of how big the country is. So I'd say that here in Ghana, like everybody's like a bit closer, like you know everyone around, everybody knows your business, like, you know everybody's business, like we're more closed that way. That's how I feel.
Okay, thank you very much. Mabina, you have the next question. Mabina on the call. Mabina is not on the call. Okay. So I'll ask this question.
I'm on the call. I'll ask
You're
the
there?
question.
Okay.
So to Bray, what do you admire about Africa?
So, I think it's really cool, like with all like the different safaris and like all the different types of animals, just roaming around freely because we don't have that here. They're all in like zoos. I find it cool how the whole entire continent is like a peninsula. Um, there's like different wonders of the world there that are really cool to look at. All the scenic views and the beautiful beaches that there are and all the different tribes. What are some festivals or holidays that you guys celebrate or that you celebrate?
Okay, so some festivals celebrated in Ghana are Homowo by the Ghans and Hogbachuchu of the Anlos, who are popularly known as the Ewes, Ojura by the Ichuapens, and Bugum by the Dagombes. And we also partake in Christian festivities such as Christmas and Easter, and Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha are some Muslim festivals we celebrate in Ghana. And for our holidays, we consider the 6th of March our biggest holiday since it is the Independence Day. So on that day, school students from different schools march in their school colors, and a lot of events take place. So it's a fun day.
For Christmas, Filbert, what are some of the traditions that you have? Not necessarily just you, anyone can answer, but I'm curious if sort of your Christmas traditions are similar to the ones that we have.
Yes, typically Christmas is very similar to yours. We believe that when Jesus was born, we have our Christmas tree. We have presents sometimes. Some of us do, some of us don't. It doesn't really matter. We have the decoration. I think, yeah, we don't have snow. Yeah, we don't have snow, but for the other things we do have, yeah.
Yeah, Christmas. I want to answer. Christmas in Ghana is mostly like, I think three things. It's like you go to church and then you eat and then you visit family. So that's how Christmas really goes for me. First, most of the time, I go to church and then we have this like special program that children like finally take over the whole service. So we are doing it, and then after that, I just like drive with my parents to my grandparents, like both of them. We drive there, and then we just yeah, that's how my Christmas goes.
Usually at Christmas time to before church service is like a thing that you do that you go get a new dress. So on Christmas Day, everybody has a new dress that they wear to church. So every year you get a new dress. And it's almost tradition like with Thanksgiving, how you eat turkey. Here you eat chicken on Christmas Day.
So how I celebrate my Christmas is similar to how everybody else celebrates it. We usually go to church, and then after that we come home, we eat, and then we open the presents if there are any. Then we celebrate for the rest of the day, like watching TV and stuff.
Do you watch Christmas movies? What is a Christmas movie that you like?
Home Alone.
Yes.
Yeah. They show that like 7 times at December every single year. It gets sickening sometimes. Okay, so this question is for Diamond. What's the biggest tourist attraction in your country? I know you have minis, but what is one that really stands out?
Definitely New York. Ever since like the 9/11 attack happened in 2001, so like New York and Los Angeles is like what I think of when I think of like tourist attacks and stuff like that. But yeah. I have a question for Baba. In the US, are these the places you think of, and what comes to mind for you?
Yes, actually, when I think of the US, the first thing that comes to mind, both Washington and New York, especially the White House, the Washington Monument, and then the Statue of Liberty. Like those are the key things that you think of whenever you think of the US.
Do you, students in Ghana, do you like Disney things, or do you think of Disney when you think of the US?
Yeah.
Malvina, you say not
Yes.
really.
I don't directly associate Disney with the US, even though it's from the US. But we do think of Disney. It's very popular here.
Yes. I was very surprised when we were talking about having this call with you that none of my Fort Mill kids said Disney. They were all very focused on our big cities.
Now, being in Florida, Disney is big. I mean, when my kids were younger, we would go to Disney every year. Anytime anyone would come and visit, they want to go to Disney. So I'm a surprise too. But if you come to Florida, call me and I'll give you all the inside scoop about Disney and Universal Studios and what rides to ride and all of that good stuff. Okay, who is next? We're moving into our questions around the community and COVID and things like that. So Jada, I think you have the next question.
How has COVID affected your community?
Personally, there hasn't really been an outbreak in my community. Like I haven't even like heard of anybody like close to my house who has gotten COVID. So I think the major way we are affected is everyone stays like in their house nowadays. Like at first, people used to really like come out and then you'd hear talking, but now it's really quiet, and then everybody stays at home. It's kind of like a ghost town.
Okay, so I'm sure she'll join us. Oh, there she is. She's back. Let me unmute. Okay. Mabine, I'm sorry. Let me go back. Mabina, not on the call. So can someone else answer that question? How has COVID affected the community? Baba, can you? Thank you.
I think my answer will be very different from hers because I know a lot of people who have gotten the virus. I lost a family member to the virus last year, so it's been very close to me. And yeah, it's just everything has changed in the last year, and we don't really get to see people. I haven't seen people in a very long time. I haven't even heard from people in a very long time, and it's funny how fast things can change, but we're doing our best.
Yeah, COVID has affected my community in many ways. Like normally it was a lot more like active and it still is, but like we have to wear masks like everywhere we go. In many places we have to have our temperature checked. And that's not like that's very different from our normal lifestyle. And normally when I would go out with friends, now I have to stay inside and I have to do all of those things. So it has affected my community a lot. And since I have so many family members, and a lot of them are in India where it's very like congested there, and COVID gets mutated into different forms there. There's been a new type, like new mutation for there. I had like two or three family members, not distant or not super close, but more distant, that have passed away from me. So it really has affected me as well.
Okay, so personally in my community, we are all trying to find ways to like have some kind of security. So some of us would, I don't know if you've heard of the neem tree. I don't know if you've heard of that. But some of us boil the leaves and then we inhale it, hoping that that strengthens our immune system. So we do, it's not, I believe that because I believe medicine cannot be said with. And then we are all trying to find ways to make sure that we are, in my community personally, that we feel kind of secure when we are going out because my parents work in very congested environment. Like people crowd around them a lot and what they sell and things like that. So we're just trying to make sure that we have a sense of security in our heart, if nothing else.
I think that COVID has affected my community as well because a lot of my family, we go around each other, but we have to wear a mask on because I have a grandma who's 80 something and we don't want her to get infected. So most of the time I stay in the house. Like I don't go anywhere. Like the most I go is in the car because I need to get out of the house because I do virtual. So I stay in the house the whole time. And my only escape is volleyball. And sometimes when we have tournaments, there's like hundreds of people there. So you have to be really safe and you have to wear your mask so that you don't get the virus.
COVID has also affected my community as well. My dad has gone fully virtual with his work. He used to go inside his office every single day from about 7 in the morning to around 8 at night. And now he has a shorter work time so he can spend more time with me and my mom. And he works from maybe around 9 a.m. to about 3, 4 o'clock. That's his typical day. So he gets to spend a lot more time with me and my mom, and we're around each other a lot more. My mom still goes into work, but she's very safe. She wears her mask the whole time, and all her staff wears masks and gloves. So they are taking proper precautions. With volleyball as well, we do wear our masks when we practice. All our coaches wear masks, all the staff and starter training facilities wear masks. When we go to tournaments, usually it's a requirement to wear a mask, and some states say you can either wear it or not. My whole team typically wears it because we do want to be COVID safe. We want to bring anything back to our training facility back in South Carolina when we travel to other states. So.
Is there anyone else from Ghana who would like to add to that question?
So in
Go ahead.
my community, there's not much change because we're not that close to each other. In front of my house is a main road, so nobody knows anybody. But I've seen changes. Everybody's wearing masks, and one we usually stay inside. My parents don't allow us to go out. We don't go to the cinema. We don't go to places that we usually went to for coronavirus. So things have really changed for us.
Anyone else have anything else to add from Ghana?
I think just to give a little bit of context, so Ghana hasn't been hit as well. It hasn't been hit as badly as other places. I know in the US you've had major issues with COVID. We were relatively okay until more recently. So as at maybe November, December, the number of active cases was around 500, which was relatively low compared to the rest of the world. So far since the pandemic began, official figures are
that about 75,000 people have been infected, and out of that, we're about 540 people have died. And currently, unfortunately, there's been a spike in this. The second wave in Ghana hasn't been too good. So from that 500 around November, we're now around 8,200 or something like that. That's just over the last few weeks. And I guess the variant issues are what has got us to this point. So we're grappling with that. We don't know, what's going to happen. We're all a bit nervous because we don't have a great healthcare system. And so it doesn't take much to get the healthcare system overwhelmed. So we're all a little bit worried at the moment. And what we weren't seeing before, before one person would die and they'd say the person had other illnesses, etc. But now we're seeing very fit young people succumbing to the virus. So we're worried. We just have to continue to pray that vaccines. They're trying to secure vaccines. They reckon the first batch will come in next month. So we're hoping that people will continue to stick to the protocols, and this will all go away, because it's not a nice place to be. But we do recognize that compared to other countries, we haven't been as badly hit.
How has it affected the classes? How are your classes set up again?
Sorry, please say that again.
How has it affected your classes in terms of the setup?
Okay, so in terms of setup, we've been, for the entire pandemic, schools in Ghana weren't allowed to open. So schools were only allowed to go back from March last year. Schools were only allowed to go back in January, on the 18th of January. For us as a school, since then, we've been running a blended schedule. So usually we will have only about 60% of students on campus at any given time, and the rest of them will be home doing virtual. So we're just planning to keep doing that until the situation sort of settles down. But, looking at the way things are going, we also won't be surprised if the government shuts down the schools again.
Thank you very much. Anyone else have anything else to add before we move to the next question? Thank you. Okay, Mabina, looks like you have the next question.
Okay. In what ways have you grown and what ways have you regressed during COVID?
Okay, so some of the ways that I've grown is that actually become more independent from COVID. With my virtual classes, I'm like handling more things on my own. So I'm becoming more independent and more like self-secure and all that. And what ways I've regressed actually is sometimes I underestimate like I have a set amount of homework and I have other things to do, and sometimes I get my priorities mixed up and I underestimate the amount of homework I have. So that's some of the ways that I've regressed during COVID.
So I have gotten stronger as a person over COVID because I've been training a lot more with a personal trainer. He's really helped me out with a lot. I've also been asking a lot more questions since virtual last year. When it started in March, I was having a really hard time, but I've learned to start raising my hand and asking for help, and I really haven't regressed, but I have forgot some stuff in 7th grade.
And as for me, me realize and understand the world more. It has brought more attention to the reality in some situations. And for me, it really hasn't regard or anything like that. So it's
For me, since COVID, like Bray, for volleyball, I started working with like a personal trainer to help me with my speed and like jumping when I hit the ball. So that's really what made me stronger and also being more independent. And then what it kind of regressed my mental health because I'm a very, very social person. And being inside by myself, it hasn't really been that great for me. So, and sometimes with like my family, being around the same people, it can really get on your nerves, and it's really hard when you try not to get mad at them. So that's another thing. And since I haven't really been with my dad since, because I play volleyball and it's around, like I'm around a lot of people, and so I might contract the virus. So sometimes it's hard not being able to see my sister.
I've become more independent is and I learned how to take care of myself a bit, but I have really forgot a lot about what I learned last year, 7th grade.
Thank you. And a few ways I've grown, I think I've gained a lot more muscle mass. During COVID, I went through a big weight gain and it was not that good for me. I was very immobile in my bed and I just watched TV and ate, and it was not good for me at all. And then come summer, I just like, this has got to change because this is not going to work, because I was like, tryouts are coming up and I'm like, ugh. So me and my mom started working out a lot more, and I really dropped a lot of that weight, and then I started gaining a lot of the back and muscle. So now I have a lot more muscle mass on me, and I did start training with a personal trainer, as just like Bray and Jada. I don't know if we go to the same person, I'm not sure, but I go to rope for athletics, and it has helped me with my vertical so much. I can jump almost about 4 feet up in the air, and yeah. Yeah, it's helped me a lot with volleyball, and I am now with the top team in my club. So yeah, hoping to get a scholarship.
In what ways have you grown, and in what ways have you regressed in COVID?
I would say that before the pandemic, we were going to school, we had a fixed homework timetable, and then when they shut down, they started going to virtual school, then we just stopped using the homework timetable, and then we'd get homework sometimes in the middle of the night and things like that. So it put a lot of stress on me at first because I wasn't used to the virtual school. But then after a while, I got used to it. I started managing my time better. So I think that I have learned how to manage my time better, because it seems like you have a lot of time, but then when you start doing things, then you realize that you don't have enough time at all. And in ways I've regressed, I think I'm a lot more comfortable now. I've gotten used to being at home all the time. So then now going outside is a hassle. Like, even if I have to go just across the street to get something, I don't want to leave the house anymore. And I don't know how it's going to be when all the restrictions are off. But I hope that I'll get out of it and be able to go outside without feeling terrible.
So the ways I've grown, I've gotten to know myself better, and I've gotten to know who I am, what I like, what I don't, what I'm good at, what I'm not, and things. And I've also regressed by becoming more lazy because we weren't doing that much at home. We're idle.
I like to chat now. I don't know if to go.
Okay. So personally, the pandemic taught me that in as much as we are in a bad situation, that me deciding to let the situation go without making something of myself, I have no one else to blame but myself. So I have learned how to capitalize on this um, situation we are in to do something for myself. Because without the quarantine or whatever, I wouldn't have learned basic Spanish. Now I know how to speak a little bit of Spanish. I also started a digital marketing course, and I've made it's something I'm interested in now. And yeah, it's very nice that I've learned how to capitalize on bad situations. Also, I've learned that when you are faced with um, hard times, and whenever you are faced with um, trying periods, that you have to let yourself go in such a way that you need to change your mindset to conform. Because if you don't adapt quickly, then life is passing through you. You are not passing through life. Okay. And the ways I've regressed, oh, my mental health. Too much. No, it's just too much. There's just so much time in my head that it's not as if like I don't like being around people that much. And I didn't like being around people much even before the pandemic. But then not being able to like have distraction. I've visited some very dark corners of my mind and it's kind of scary, but I'm hoping I come out of it soon. Yeah.
Okay. So I think the pandemic, it is the longest time I've stayed in the house without going to school, even like church. I don't go to church. I just like virtually. Like it's the longest time I've just like stayed in the house, like just stayed in the house. So I had a lot of time to self-reflect and like I I think I know myself more during like the pandemic. So I have grown in a way like I know myself more. And how I've regressed, I think during the start of the virtual learning, it was like the beginning of it. So teachers were stressing us, they were giving us like a lot of homework. So you go on it and every teacher is giving you homework like every day. Every like lesson they give you homework for it. So that part was stressful. But as they got used to virtual, we got back to our normal like schedule of homework. Things became like very, very convenient. And I feel like when I'm in physical school, I am more overachieving than when I'm in virtual school. I feel like virtual school, I'm in my comfort zone, so I'm not really pushing myself to my potential because I'm just happy with like how I like what I get, so I don't really try hard like that. Because at first when we were in physical school, they used to do like rankings, but they've stopped it. So because there are no rankings anymore, I don't like if I just see that they've like the A's are there, then I'm just like okay. But at first I used to really push myself in with the rank.
So during the COVID-19 period, I was able to polish up on my core values. In fact, I needed to because living in such a period requires you to be ethical. Yeah. And one important skill I learned that made me grow was management, considering the fact that almost everything changed and we had to reschedule our plans. And this has helped me know how to do the right things at the right time. However, COVID brought a halt to most of our sporting activities and like swimming and soccer. So this made me regress in keeping my body fit and also having fun outdoors.
If you could describe 2020 in one word, what would you use?
I would describe it as chaotic because like there was no I don't know, it was just chaotic.
My word is unpredictable because things just kept coming. We didn't know what was next. So,
My word would have to be disorienting. It was as if someone just flipped an hourglass And then everything started pouring down on us. It was just something else. So disorienting.
I think 2020 was very random in the sense that we did not know what would come next. Like, I remember hearing about COVID-19 in February 2020, but like I didn't know it would like escalate to like a global pandemic where I would like have to stay at home for such a long period. So it was very random. Nobody could really tell what was going to happen.
For me, 2020 was wobbly because it wasn't balanced. You don't know what will happen at this time. So yeah, it was wobbly.
Fort Mill students, do you want to share your 2020 in one word thoughts?
Yep. So my word would be different because like from the previous years, obviously because of COVID, our lives have been majorly affected and our schedule like is very different and our kind of like picture now is very different from what it used to be. But I wouldn't necessarily say bad because there are good things that happen. There are ways that we have grown. So that's why I picked different because just because it's different doesn't mean and just because of COVID, it's not entirely bad. There have been good things coming around.
So my word is gonna be eventful. The like there was just like a bunch of crazy stuff going on in the world, and for me personally, it was a good year because I grew a lot, and for me, I just thought it was like a really good year for me, but for the world, we lost like a lot of people, and that really sucked. So my word is eventful.
For me, my word would be draining because it like took a toll on everybody's life. It just hit us unexpected, and it was like I don't think no one was prepared, and everyone was just going crazy at first. We didn't know where we would be. We thought it would be gone for a while, but then as more people stayed in the house, it like took a toll on them. They couldn't go out, and I guess that's what started like the neighborhood walks and stuff like that. And then no one could leave out and go to school, so we were just some teenagers and some adults in the house surrounded by each other every day, and that's kind of like boring, and you'll get tired of.
I would say 2020 was very, I guess, dramatic because a lot of dramatic things happened. Like, Black Panther died. That was really sad. I didn't like that at all. And COVID and schools got shut down, and people were just a lot of sports got shut down. That was really for the U.S. That was really tragic. And I think for me, like Bray said, I think 2020, the start was a good year for me because with sports and everything, I got a lot of growth. I lost a lot of weight for volleyball, and I just think it kind of helped me with mental. It kind of helped me, and it didn't help me at the same time. So I think it was very dramatic.
I would describe 2020 as unannounced because nobody had any time to prepare for it or any time to nobody really thought it was going to be that big of a deal, so they just made it go like it was a regular thing.
My one word to describe 2010 would be hazy because during the beginning of the March when it started happening, I really don't remember that time at all. I barely even remember the summer. All I kind of remember is at the end of like September and August when school was starting is when things kind of changed and everybody started going to school and we all started like transitioning into that thought of, oh, things are starting to get back up, schools are starting to open, virtual's happening and in person, off person, like things are happening like that. I really don't remember anything really before that. I don't know if that's bad, but it really slipped my mind. But I think it was kind of a good year for me too. I got a lot stronger and I know more things about my sport, and I feel like I have the tools to go forward with that and build a career out of it. So, and all I'd say is also hectic as well.
Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing. This has definitely been an interesting and exciting experience. I would just wonder, I'd like for everybody to just go around and describe in a few words what you have learned about this virtual trip. We'll start with Fort Mill, and then we'll have the students from Ghana answer.
Okay, so I'll go first. One thing I learned about, or a few things that I learned about this virtual field trip is I learned a lot about your culture and your country. I learned a lot about like the way your school system is and all of those things. And I also learned majorly how COVID has affected your community. So those are some of the things that I learned from this virtual field trip. So I took it as a learning experience.
One thing I learned is that we all have our similarities and differences. Like we, or you guys have like different cultures and different tribes. Well, we also have that. I find it really cool how you guys have like just a bunch of different tribes all over Africa, and how they survive differently and how they live differently and how they have like different holidays.
I feel like I have a more understanding point of view of Africa and where you guys are from. I used to think like Africa was just one big, like everyone was just connected, but now I know that there's different sets and origins of Africa, so I know that. And yeah, I feel like, and I also know that the names weren't going to be as much common. We have common names, and your names are very more different and unique, and that's also something that I found that I like about.
I also learned about how you guys are very different than what I imagined. I learned about your culture and like the things that you like to do. Some of the things that we like to do is very similar, and then I also learned about your livelihood, which was really great.
I learned that we all basically took COVID the same way. We all had to stay home. We all had to wear, well, not wear masks, but we had to adjust our schedules to respond to COVID, and well, that's about it.
I learned that lots of us say, excuse me, I learned that a lot of us share the same interests, and that things that we've heard about here that we do here in the US, you guys also do in Africa. So it's kind of similar, but it's also different at the same exact time. Like I was talking to Baba about a book that KJ Mello wrote called The Tear of Despero, and we both like that book. I've read it several times. I don't know about her, but I do enjoy that author, and I relate to her on that topic. Also about the holidays, I was not aware that you guys also celebrate Christmas, so I think that's pretty cool, but I love how you guys celebrate it in a different way than we do. I think it's very unique, and I enjoyed hearing about it.
Okay, I think it's my. I learned that there's not that much difference between us. Like I expected it to be a more jarring difference, but then I realized today that we're closer than it seems at first. And even though we live at different parts of the world, we all experience the same things. And I learned that we have the same interests. Like Mia said, I had no idea that any of you had read the book. And yeah, I have read it multiple times. And it feels nice to know that like we're not just different, everybody's different, that we all have something in common with everybody else.
I've got to learn that we only live in a small part of the world, and it's a huge world that we live in, with different cultures, different people, different languages. So now I've got to learn about the US, and hopefully I'll get to know about different places in the world.
Okay, like Baba said, before I came here, I thought the difference would be quite bigger than it actually is. And I've learned that the distance between us doesn't really apply to what we go through. At the end of the day, I've learned that we are all in the same ship, if not both. Yeah, and that we go through the same thing, and that, yeah, most of the things we go through are the same things you go through. Yeah.
Through this virtual field trip experience, I've learned that although we have unique differences, we all have something in common, and that's what excites me. Um, yeah, so I'm also glad to meet new people. Yes, thank you.
Is there anything, thank you everyone. That was awesome, very heartfelt. Are there any other comments? We will have some wrap-up comments from Dr. Ajipong, Mrs. McFadden, and Mrs. Robinson, but do any of the other educators, staff have any additional comments to add? From Fort Mill, Alitra, do you have anything else that you'd like to add?
I just want to thank you all again for allowing me to be a part of this opportunity. I'm actually trying to hold back some tears because it's so good to be with, people from around the world and to be able to see that we are all, similar and we're all the same, and to see the students interact with one another. So it was effortlessly, it was amazing to watch. And I am just appreciative to be a part of the process. So thank you so much for allowing me to be here this morning.
Thank you. And from Alpha Beta, who would like to share their remarks?
I do. So I just wanted to say we actually live in amazing times. It's so wonderful that just by the power of technology, we could travel so many miles to meet people on the other side of the world and learn so much from everybody and find out unique but also common things that bond us as a people. And so I just wanted to say well done to all the students from both schools. You've been amazing. I have absolutely enjoyed this, and I really look forward to watching the replay. I'm sure I'm going to get addicted to it, and I'm going to watch it over and over again. And I really hope that we can do this again and with another school and learn some more, even from other parts of the world. So thank you guys for doing this, and well done. You guys were amazing. Thank you.
Does anyone else have anything else to add from Alpha Beta?
Yes, I just wanted to add to what Jackie said. It's been a really great opportunity to be part of this, watching the interaction with all the students as they learned more about each other's cultures, likes, dislikes, and like we've already said, identifying the similarities. So yeah, just a great opportunity to be part of. Thank you, Rosalind, for coordinating all of this with each of the schools. And I hope it will be like a platform for all the students to go on and do something more, something further, to learn more about each other's countries and cultures, and that it doesn't just end here today. So thank you very much.
Anyone else have anything else to add? So, Dr. Ajipong, if you could share your closing remarks with the group.
All right. So I am very excited that it went as well as it did. I was very impressed with all the young people being able to share candidly their experiences with each other. And I really hope that it's been a great learning experience for the students both sides. You know, we all sort of sometimes harbor misconceptions about people from different cultures. And I hope that after today, some of those misconceptions will be cleared. And then I just wanted to remind everybody that, you know, Africa is a very big continent. You know, it has billions of people. It's got 54 different countries. And today you've all been able to see just one country. You know, there's a lot that goes on in Ghana, but there's also a lot that goes on the rest of the continent. There's a lot of exciting things going on the continent. So we hope that after today, the journey is just beginning for, you know, our US visitors, and that you'll really make the effort to learn about other African countries. We are very excited about the prospects of this sort of learning, and we are hoping that this won't be the last experience, and that we'll be able to have experiences with people from all over the world, as technology has allowed us to do. So thank you, Rosalind, once again for putting it together. Thank you to all the faculty and the students at Fort Mill. It's been a great experience for us. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. It has been just a pleasure working with everyone. The students, the staff has been amazing. Mrs. McFadden, closing words from you.
Yes, I really just want to echo what everyone else has said, that this has been such an amazing opportunity. I feel like it came to us as a surprise. It was so serendipitous that this all came together, and I couldn't be more happy with how today has gone. And like everyone has said, I feel like we had the perfect combination of students, and I have loved meeting you students from Alpha Beta. I feel like you are like a part of my heart now, and I'm going to think about you and wonder how you're doing. And I'm going to want to talk about my Marvel experiences with you guys. So it's just been so much fun to connect with you, and I appreciate your time, and just wish you guys all the best always.
And Mrs. Robinson, or Senora Robinson, and before you give your closing remarks, could I get a thumbs up if you are a Spanish speaker, even if es habla español muy poquito, even if it's a little bit of Spanish? Ah, okay, all right. Okay, David, I remember you saying that you studied Spanish during the pandemic. So that probably makes Senora Robinson very, very happy. So, Mrs. Robinson, you'll give us your closing remarks.
Yes, just like everybody else, I have truly enjoyed this experience. We started talking about this with Mrs. McFadden some months ago, and then she met Rosalind, and it just blew up and expanded in so many positive ways. And it was so nice to meet educators from across the country who are also just trying to make a difference in the lives of their students and in their school. And I hope as well that this is the beginning of something new, a new connection that our students and our faculty can learn from one another. And to our students, to both students from Ghana and the students here from Fort Mill Middle School, I hope that you all know that you are selected because you're leaders in your buildings. And so we just want to challenge you to keep leading, keep doing wonderful things. You weren't picked just because there are reasons behind it. Your teachers see you. We look at our students here at Fort Mill, and when we chose our ambassadors, it's definitely a privilege and an honor. And we just hope that you recognize that. Keep making wonderful decisions, keep doing what you're doing. And I just know that you all are going to keep doing positive things in the future.
Well, as a global citizen, as a travel agent, as a social entrepreneur, this has been just simply amazing. The last year I have been grounded, if you will, as a travel agent. I haven't been able to go around the world and explore and do what I normally do. I consider Ghana to be my second home, and it was through my contacts of many trips to Ghana that I was able to connect with Dr. Abidjan, with the school. It has been an incredible experience getting to know each of you. And each of you pretty much echoed this sentiment, which is what I believe, is that we're more the same than we are different. And that there are so many common bonds, but our common bond is really that we're all part of the human race. And it just really warms my heart that we were able to have this experience, learning, growing, which is really what travel does. It, you know, gives you a different point of view, a different perspective. It helps you to understand and grow and learn about another culture. And so through technology, we were able to recreate that experience to a certain degree. And I know that there will be more opportunities. We are working on a follow-up activity. In addition to, of course, seeing the video, there'll be a follow-up activity that will keep the schools connected. And so we don't want to just have a one and done. Yeah, it was nice talking to you, see you. We want to keep the connection. So we are working on that. This was a pilot program that I will be rolling out to other schools. So I am so grateful to the staff for your patience and your flexibility and your willingness to participate in this. I know this was something else that was put on your plate, and I'm so, so grateful to you. And to the students, each of you bright stars in South Carolina, bright stars in Accra, so proud of you. And I'm so grateful to you. So with that said, thank you from the bottom of my heart. If no one else has anything else to add, this concludes our